Ashton here, servicing animation information, and today we'll be reviewing the anime Angel Beats. Angel Beats is a 13-episode animation written by Jun Maeda, produced by PA Works and Aniplex in 2010. The story follows a young Yuzuri Otonashi and a young Yuri Nakamura who are set on these expeditions to go combat this thing that they would call Angel, to try to find themselves more in this peaceful place within this limbo world that's set aside for people that die who have restless souls. Now, throughout the story, you constantly see a lot of interactions between Yuri and Otonashi, these constant bouts of them having this strong bond and friendship as they continue to try to combat this angel constantly. Throughout the story, you get introduced to new characters, you get new side developments as well that flow and move the story along accordingly. To find death within the show, you actually can't die per se, but you get reincarnated. So they usually don't show how gruesome a death would be or how you come back after this gruesome death, but just trust me, just like the show says, you'll be back. I don't know, for a show that just continues to move in this way, it's not for me. It was not for me at all. They could have done a lot more with the premise that they had set up. The plot was really nice to start with, but after the beginning, it just slows down. It gives you a really nice scene of how someone passes on after their realization of their past selves and their past lives. But after that, you get it the first time, it doesn't feel the same. It's like the story tells you what's going to happen with everybody, but it fails to just have that execution from the main characters. In fact, I don't even know who the main character is half the time. I don't know if it's Otonashi or if it's Nakamura. I don't know if it's going to be the person who's introduced way later in the series, or if it's going to be another person that's randomly introduced later in the series. Regardless, you get a lot of these random mixed colorful scenes coming your way constantly. It's fun when it needs to be fun, but then it just bores out whenever everyone's serious. In fact, that's what really makes the show so good to begin with, is you're captured by this fun, vibrant, really exciting group, and then it just falls flat on its face. Man, I don't know. Every time it does make these mistakes, it just doesn't recover from what needs to happen. It's like it peaks out and then it drops you off right back at square one. There's a lot of these really heartfelt moments or these really intense scenes that they try to produce. Something not going somebody's way or something not happening the way it needs to, it just doesn't feel right. It's just, you're missing more. You're missing more attachment from not only the main characters, but you're missing attachment from the plot. You're given this idea of everybody needing to pass on to the next world. Well, eventually when you start seeing that happen, it's not good. It's not good because you don't know who's passing on. I can't even tell you the list of characters or the side characters that support Otonashi throughout this expedition or these expeditions. I don't know, for a show that's just 13 episodes long, you could have really reduced this to 5 episodes and had a way more compelling story than what it is currently. Because half of these characters have no involvement whatsoever. They just like copy and paste people that they've known from previous characters into this one storyline, and they're all bland, they're all lifeless. Everyone's kind of brain dead. Some of the jokes are funny, some of the humor is kind of witty. Sometimes the expeditions they just feel fun, but they don't. At the end of the day, they just, after everything's happened, it's not right. Nothing's going on. And I can even get over not knowing who the protagonist is, or the lack of focus from a show, or even just the kind of copy and paste characters that come from this show from other characters. One thing I can't get over is a part in the ending whenever it's Otonashi and this other person, and they've maybe had 30 sentences, or maybe, I don't know, 10 to 15 interactions, and I get maybe the disparity that comes from what's happening from all of this, but with a random left field ball, you get hit with an "I love you," and you're just like, oh man, I'm cringing at this point, man. I'm not sad. I mean, I felt what was going on, and I'm like, sure, it's speaking to me a little bit. But then you get hit with that one "I love you," and it's out of nowhere. You're just confused more than anything. Why? Like, where does it come from? I don't even care about this person that much. What? Like, you could have put anybody else with that person and had Ultonashi have the same reaction, and it would have been the exact same thing. There would have been no difference. The only difference is that he spent his whole time trying to protect this person from so much that's happening to the story. Again, I don't know. It's not bold. It does a lot of nothing. The story does a lot of nothing. You're not really attached to anything, and I don't know. Maybe if I had first started watching anime, I probably would have enjoyed it, but this one's just not for me. It's not for me. I don't even know the side characters' names. There's no depth in any of the side characters. Everybody's just serving their own needs, running around. They're literally NPCs in an NPC world. I don't know how that makes sense, but that's just the story you're given with the ideas and the plot that you're given. There's not much else to say. I may look sleepy as is, but I mean, I'm just giving you the same feelings I had for this show. Midway through the show, I could have fallen asleep and gotten the exact same story than me actually sitting through the story. It's gonna be a 4, I guess. Yeah. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Cisco Bang. If you enjoyed this episode or more episodes that we have posted in the past, drop some comments below of some recommendations or some shows that I should review and watch, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. On this episode of Cisco Bang, forever and ever, Ashton, much love your way, Angel Beats forever, animation forever, sub-dubbed, keep watching it, keep reading it, much love, bye.